Hello everybody and welcome to MSCA CCS Cup Series action. We are here at the Michigan International Speedway for race number 12. Here for the MSCA CCS Cup Series, and we are going to get right on into it as Matthew Axe will be your starter for the day in the number 56 AC Delco Pontiac, and gets a good jump on the 98 of Greg Shivers. So definitely a good run so far. As far as getting the jump on the first lap. However, Martin Grayson and Aaron Rees, both current winners this season, right on the tail end of Matthew Axe in the number 56. And Martin Grayson has a pretty fast car. We saw him in practice. He's one of the fastest cars in practice. In fact, that whole team of GTR, those GTR Toyotas, were definitely the fastest cars all time this weekend. However, we got a pretty big group of cars behind, and it looks like a few of them may get into the wall. Matthew Axe definitely get into the wall on the front straightaway. And he's going to get in the wall on the back straightaway. That's going to turn the 21, Lucas Tran, into the infield. Doesn't look like anything else happened, but that will bring the caution out here on lap number 2. We're going to follow the 98. As he is your current leader, I'm going to watch the race back to the lead, and then we'll go back to see what happened as far as with Lucas Tran, as Greg Shivers will take them down to the caution flag. And here's what happened with Lucas Tran, running pretty much okay, and then you see the 56 come down, and the 87 getting involved as well. Lucas Tran doing a good job at keeping that car from going any farther and actually saving the spin, so not much happening there in that little incident, but it will be enough to bring out a caution. Greg Shivers leads them back to the green flag, and hopefully these drivers are hoping that it's not going to be a wreck fest like it was in the truck races. Definitely the trucks had a bit of an issue with staying under green, and I believe the longest green flag run was from lap 56 to the end, or somewhere around lap 50 to the end of the race. So these drivers are hoping that they can get a pretty long green flag run in, because they want a good race. They don't want mostly the caution flags to be coming out for a quarter of the race. And Greg Shivers doing a pretty good job of holding off his teammate. However, looks like Martin Grayson may be playing it a bit conservative, as he does have a little bit of help from behind with his other teammate, Marshawn Anderson. As those three cars, all three of them have just been consistently up at the front, consistently fast, and just nobody seems to have the same pace that these three cars do. And it's something to at least look for as far as who may have the best chance to win the race. Is Martin Grayson looking to the inside of Greg Shivers now? As we go back, looking at one of your top underdog on the race so far, Virgil Arvin Alonso in the number 37 machine, currently sponsorless, and he has a bit of history in this kind of racing. He used to be a former Pennzoil Pro Series driver, but then ended up getting removed from Season 3 competition due to certain circumstances, which we aren't extremely sure about, as we didn't get the full details as far as the MSCA is concerned. But the team was barred from competition, as well as the drivers, or at least most of the drivers involved in whatever problems occurred. But he is currently back under competition. However, financial woes have really hurt him, as he's lost a lot of sponsorship and lost a lot of relations with some of the companies that he's been associated with. However, he does have some companies that are willing to come back to him. So that's a good thing for the 37, as he has been able to move up through into the CAS now as well. Andrea Martinez in the number 72, one of the most consistently fast drivers for her team in those Dodge Stratus, those 05 Dodge Stratuses. However, that team just doesn't seem to have the same speed as, or at least the rest of her team doesn't seem to have the same speed, as we've always seen Andrea Martinez somewhat up at the front of the field. it just doesn't seem like she has been able to keep the same pace as the leaders, though, as she does end up falling back a little bit towards the end of the race. But it is a good thing to see that she is up there and fighting for the lead, as we don't really see a whole lot of that from this team. And obviously, second-year teams, and they already have one car fighting for wins on some occasions. So that's definitely a good sign of things to come for this team, and hopefully they're able to compete and actually do well next season, if not get a win, at least a win this season. And Andre Martinez definitely looks like their top rated driver on this team. Another team that has been kind of struggling so far this season is the rookie team of Farvan Motorsports. Alan Eberhard in the number 16, currently the top runner. David Wilson kind of mired back in the field a little bit. But Alan Eberhard has been running fairly, fairly mediocre as of right now. He's been pretty mid-pack for most of his races. He has had a few DNFs and a few bad finishes, but that's just... I think that's mostly just from the fact that this team is a very new team to this kind of racing. They've been in the truck series for a while, but that definitely is a bit of a different animal than stock cars, as they're definitely designed differently and they're built way differently and driven as such. And to have someone like Alan Eberhard, who has driven cars like this before, in this number 16 machine, actually helping these guys out, it's definitely a testament to what this team has been able to do, and they're definitely running very well here at Michigan, with Alan Eberhard in the number 16 being within the top 10 right now and fighting. It looks like he may be fighting for a win towards the end of this race, if not very soon, much like the 72 of Andre Martinez, who currently holds the lead and is fighting off a hard-charging Fitzwater Australia car of Jason Haynes. Fitzwater Australia Racing has not really made a big impact in this series, but this is probably the one race that they do get a chance to actually show what they can do. In the 59 right now, Jason Haynes, former Ford Australia driver, is running in second place right now, and he looks to be pretty fast. However, he's got a lot of competition even behind him, as this race is definitely far from over. A lot of cars still looking to try and get their first win. A lot of drivers looking to get a little bit further in the standings by getting themselves another win. And especially if you want to win the championship, at least in this series right now, I believe you really have to get 2 wins to even come close to being in competition for the front of the points field, considering that 3 of the 4 drivers, or if not the top 4, are currently 2-win drivers. Looking back into Sam Verbeek's number 31, he is one of your onboard cameras for today. And Sam Verbeek has had a pretty abysmal season thus far. He's had a few incidents, but just hasn't been able to get the speed that he had last year. Comparing that to his teammate last year, who is no longer racing in this series, he's definitely the top driver on this team, and that's why they decided to keep him. The Dutch driver is definitely doing a lot better, at least in this race, than he has been all season. But a lot of things that this team has been going through, really not the greatest bit of I guess history with the 31 and the 33, who actually is the 33 is actually planned to be coming back. A different driver will take over the reins, and hopefully this team can come back with a bit of a stronger bite in comparison. So a lot of drivers looking towards this team for maybe a bit of, I guess, hope or something or other. But a lot of drivers looking at this team, maybe thinking that this is a new contender, another team in contention for possibly wins. But maybe not a championship caliber team, but definitely a better team overall. However, we're going to see green flag pit stops, as Jacob Ray in the number 55 will bring down the first set of pit stops. And there'll be a few drivers, including David Wilson back in the 6th car. And Alan Eberhard will bring down the second row pit stops, bringing in Sam Verbeek as well as a few others from packs behind. So Alan Eberhard is taking in the first of the lead pack, and then Martin Grayson will bring down pretty much the rest of the leaders into the pit lane in that number 86 Quaker State machine. However, 2 cars did stay out, and that were the 37 and the 89. The 37 of Virgil Arvin Alonso and the 89 of Marshawn Anderson. Anderson with the 89 car has been pretty much fast all day. However, they also bring in another driver, which is the 44 of Norm Mantiel, your defending points leader, your defending champion, actually. Alan Eberhard, however, currently holding the lead, currently holding second, at least for right now, as he is now trying to chase down Alan Eberhard, or not Alan Eberhard. Alan Eberhard is trying to chase down Marshawn Anderson to try and take back the lead for the number 16 team, or actually take the lead for the first time this race. But Eberhard not being able to get there in time, as now the 89 has enough speed and is able to keep up with these leaders. However, Eberhard still pulling in a little bit, maybe going to try and make a move into turns 1 and 2, as that is exactly what he's going to try and do. The 16 now moving into the inside of the turn. But Marshawn Anderson in the 89 with a power move to the outside, and he's going to take back the lead from the 16 of Alan Eberhard. And eventually, Alan Eberhard will end up falling to Martin Grayson in the number 86, as those 2 cars have been pretty much the fastest all day. As GTR has definitely had some of the fastest racing, the fastest running cars the entire day. The 86, the 98, and the 89 have all been extremely fast, and you can see it right now with them being 1-2 with Marshawn Anderson and Martin Grayson in first and second place. However, Alan Eberhard definitely looking like he's got a much faster car than he started out with. His teammate, or quasi-teammate, I guess you could say, in the number 68 of Ernest Crispin, right behind him, could also possibly help him out in trying to get by these 2. But these 2 Camrys have definitely been the class of the field right now. Something may have happened to Greg Shivers, though, as he is not in this first group. He may have fallen back during pit stops. So that's a little bit of a disappointment, as GTR was hoping they could get maybe 3 cars in the top 10. However, getting a win and a second place finish, that would be even better. That would be great just in its own right. And as I say that, these 2 cars are now fighting for the lead, as the team owner, or the team has basically told them, go at it, fight each other for the lead. Doesn't matter if either one of you win, just make sure that it's one of you guys. And while that may have been a pretty decent idea, at least in hindsight, Alan Eberhard has now taken over second place, as Marshawn Anderson ended up falling really far back by getting passed by Martin Grayson, as now Grayson holds the lead here, passing through lap 71. However, with a great push from another Camry, an older Camry, the Shareback Racing car of Ricky Dixon, and one of your top drivers in points right now, has pushed the 89 back into second place. And it seems like Alan Eberhard seems to be the only driver who can really compete with the 2 cars up at the front, which is Marshawn Anderson and Martin Grayson. And Eberhard trying everything that he can to get by these 2, but it just seems like nothing has been working for the 16, because every time he tries to pass, it comes right back to haunt him. And that's the thing with this team, is that as soon as you try to pass, they come right back and they pass you back. However, coming back down, 2 laps to go, as Martin Grayson in the 86 holds steadily in the lead, is in second place as Marshawn Anderson, and that's how they've been since lap 70, when Martin Grayson made the move on his teammate. So entering into turn 3, the number 10 Valvoline car is a lap down, so he is probably going to help his teammate, if he at any point, to get probably Ricky Dixon a better finish if he can get second, or even a win. And that will give Ricky Dixon a 3rd win on the season. However, Martin Grayson in the 86 holding fast on the final lap. Marshawn Anderson still sitting in second, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to be able to make a move. The only one who can really do anything now is Marshawn Anderson. He doesn't try to do anything in turn 3 as they head now into turn 4. Will there be a move coming out of turn number 4? It does not look like it, and Martin Grayson, coming down to the stripe, will win here at race 12 here at Michigan. And a decent race for those two of Marshawn Anderson and Martin Grayson, as they will end up finishing 1 and 2. As you can see, Martin Grayson doing his burnouts. And that's going to do it here for Michigan, here for the MSCA Casey's Cup Series. A decent finish, at least, for the driver who won, and a decent points overall. That's going to do it, and we'll see you at Chicagoland in the next event.